Hey guys, Stay-Patient here with another Project Cars Trophy and Achievement Guide. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at Consistency is King. Now this involves performing 3 consecutive laps within 0.1 second of each other. There have been lots of racing games with a very similar trophy, and I'm going to be showing you a technique that I used in F1 2011 to get the trophy, and it worked a charm in this game as well. Now I've set up a quick race weekend race. I believe this has to be done in the quick race weekend mode because the trophy itself is green. And if you haven't seen my video about the color coding of the trophies and achievements on this game, then check it out. But it's the easiest mode to do it in anyway, so it doesn't really matter either way. But we are at Brands Hatch Indy. That's the course I'm using, and it's perfect for this trophy. Of course, I'm using the Renault Clio Cup. As you can see, any car will do really, but something that has a consistent, consistently pulls away at the same kind of speed with no wheel spin or anything like that. That's going to be ideal. So if we start the race, of course, you're going to need to have a nice number of laps to give yourself plenty of time to get this trophy. You need at least 3 laps, but I usually choose more than that, just so that if I don't get it on the first try, you can keep going. But in the top right hand corner you'll see a graphic as part of the heads up display. If you press right on the D-pad, it will scroll through. Now I'm going to keep scrolling through until we get to that one there. Now this one you'll know it's the right one because it's got a nice large timer, nice bold numbers up there. Now that's the one that we need to be using because it shows us our previous lap times so that we can see 3 or 4 lap times up there, and we can tell whether we are within that 0.1 second or not. I would recommend, as you go around the lap, trying to stay on the track. I take it nice and slow just to make sure not to invalidate any of the lap times. I'm not sure if that does mess up the trophy or not. I'm sure that a lot of people will have probably earned this trophy even though they had invalidated lap times. But just to be, safe rather than sorry, it's worth just taking it slow and making sure that each lap time does count, just on the off chance that the invalidated laps could potentially mess it up. Maybe someone could confirm that for me. If you've earned this trophy after having had a lap invalidated, then let me know just so that we can clarify that. But what we're going to do is we're going to come around to the finish line here, and we're going to slow up, and we're going to come to a line basically just before the finish line. You'll know where the finish line is because it's in line with those 3 or 4 orange Mentorus sort of advert placards or billboards, you could say. And as you can see, the finish line is right in front of us. We are going to park up right in front of this starting grid line here. Now we're going to try and line up using this particular view. That's why I've got the bonnet view, because we're going to line up the front of the bonnet very carefully just by edging forward. We're going to line up with this sort of line of paint, the actual starting grid line. So we're going to have it so that the front of our bumper or the front of our bonnet is touching the very back of this painted line. I can edge back a little bit. There we go. Now you're going to want to replicate this each lap, and what we're going to do, we're going to count down on the timer in the top bottom left. As you can see, we're at 2 minutes 22. Now I am going to accelerate over the line at 2 minutes 30. So we're going to count down, and as soon as it hits 2:30 I'm going to press it, and you have to try and make sure you get the timing just right for this. Obviously you'll probably want to leave a bit longer than that. You won't want to necessarily do it at 2 minutes 30, maybe leave it till 3 minutes or even longer, just to make sure you've got plenty of time during the second and third laps to be able to get yourself in position, just in case you do struggle to be able to line yourself up with that painted line. But on this second lap we're basically just going to do exactly the same thing, and because that starting grid line is so close to the finish line, it means that as long as we press accelerate at as close to that same marker or that same sort of time that we've chosen, for me it was 2 minutes 30, as long as we're as close to that as possible each time, then we should go over the finish line at pretty much the same time, or at least within 0.1 second. So we're coming back round again, taking it nice and easy just to stay on the track. Pardon me. So we want to make sure we slow down in plenty of time. at the finish line here. Look out for those orange billboards again, and we're going to pull back up to this starting grid line and plonk ourselves in exactly the same position. We want the front of our bonnet just touching the back end of that painted line. There we go, that's pretty much where we were before. So now all we need to do is wait for 2 minutes 30. We actually have a minute to wait because the first lap took a bit longer after explaining the heads up display and the other, the actual method itself. But we'll wait for that time to run down and then we'll go over the line. Of course, some of you may have your own techniques for doing this. I'd be interested in hearing, if any of you have tried something else that's worked well. I know on Gran Turismo 5, I used a go-kart because they were very consistent. They kept like a consistent top speed. And I would just go round one of the oval tracks, keeping as close to the racing line as possible. And that seemed to work fine. But there isn't really any tracks like that you can do that with. And also there doesn't seem to be a way of turning on ghosts on this, which means you can't really follow yourself around the track. But this seems to be quite a reliable method. If anyone does have another way of doing it, let me know. But here we are, we're at 2 minutes 20, counting down the last 10 seconds, and then we're going to accelerate over the line once again. So 7, 8, 9, 10, there we go. So as you can see in the top right hand corner, I will just slow up and stop now. I'm not going to worry about doing the third lap as well, because basically the principle is exactly the same. But as you can see, the first lap was 2 minutes 31.833, and the next lap was 0.902, which is well within the 0.1 second that we were going for. The only thing that can mess this up for you is maybe if your car is at the line but it's facing to the right or left. So if we're parked at the line but we're facing up the hill a little bit like that, or if we're parked at the line facing down the hill, then the speed at which we pull away would be slightly different each time, and that can put you just outside the 0.1 of a second. So try and keep your car nice and straight when you come into the line and park up, so you're facing directly forward. Another thing, of course, is the fact that it's just human error really if you don't get the timing right. If you are like me, I was going for 2 minutes 30. If I pressed the accelerator just a split second too early or too late, there is a bit of leeway, obviously. I have done it before and thought to myself that I noticeably pressed it late, but I still got it within the 0.1 seconds. So there is a bit of leeway there. But as you can see, that's quite a consistent method. First 2 laps, they're both within 0.1 second of each other, and you just have to mirror that on the third lap. So I hope that's been useful, guys. Don't forget to check out all my other videos. I've got most of the trophies and achievements covered on my channel for this game, as well as many other games. In the meantime, don't forget to drop a like and a subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you soon.